Please stay.
Hello? Hello? What the fuck? What the fuck?
I think we got a dead body here. Yep, we do.
On the afternoon of May 21st, 2022, a powerful storm system swept across parts of Canada, bringing with it extreme winds and the threat of a tornado. That same day, outdoor creator Tyson Pierce was deep in the woods near Hawkesbury, alongside his younger brother and a friend. The group had been working on a makeshift survival shelter, something meant for camping and outdoor challenges, but everything changed in a matter of minutes.
Environment Canada has issued a severe thunderstorm warning. Mobile coverage area, take cover immediately if threatening.
While they were finishing the structure, Tyson received a sudden weather alert warning of severe conditions and urging immediate shelter. There was no time to leave. Deep in the forest, far from any roads or safe buildings, their only option was to stay where they were, inside the shelter they had just built. Moments later, the storm hit. The wind intensified rapidly, shaking the surrounding trees as debris began to tear through the forest. Within seconds, the situation escalated into something far more dangerous.
Tatsu! Tornado! Tornado! Stay low! Stay low! Stay low! Stay low! Stay! 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 Stay low!
Is it leaving?
No! Stay! Stay! Stay low, buddy! Stay! 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 It is a small ball! It is a small ball! It is a small ball! Stay low! No! No! We're good! We're good! We're good! Fuck!
No, we're dying. We're dying. We're dying.
No! Stay! Stay!
Fuck.
Shit, bro!
Stay. Wait until.
Holy shit!
Please, don't make me.
Yes, you good? You good? Only good?
What are you good? But sir, ça pour ça, sir.
Please, God! Please! Please!
God, s'il vous plaît.
S'il vous plaît!
Oh my God! No! 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 No!
Please, no! Stay low! Stay low!
No! No!
Stay! Stay!
No! No!
Holy
Tyson, please!
Stay! 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 Please, God! Please!
God, please! Sorry. I'm like so blessed!
Stay good! On it 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 good! Let me go. Stay! Stay! Stay right here! Holy oh my God!
Can we run?
Holy sh!
Can we go?
What the?
I'm running. Oh shit.
Yo!
A tornado was moving directly through the area. With no way to escape, the group dropped low inside the structure, bracing themselves as the force of the storm passed over them. The sound alone was overwhelming, a violent, constant roar as the forest around them was being torn apart. Inside the shelter, every second felt uncertain. There was no way to tell if the structure would hold or collapse under the pressure. For several moments, they were completely at the mercy of the storm. Then, just as suddenly as it began, it passed. When the winds finally died down, the group emerged to assess the damage. The shelter was still standing. Against all odds, it had held together. In an environment where there was nowhere to run and no second chance, that structure likely made a difference between survival and something far worse. On May 26, 2025, a man named Ray Savage released a piece of footage that quickly caught people's attention. What started as a quiet solo camping trip in a remote forest turned into something far more unsettling once he reviewed his recordings. Ray had chosen the location carefully. It was a secluded trail, rarely visited, the kind of place where wildlife moved freely without human interference. Hoping to capture natural activity, he set up a trail camera facing a deer path, along with a separate audio recorder to capture any sounds during the night. Everything was positioned with precision. With his equipment running, Ray settled for the night just a short distance away, expecting nothing more than the usual sounds of the forest. And that's exactly how it felt. The night passed quietly, no disturbances, no signs that anything unusual had happened. It wasn't until the following day, back home, that things took a turn. As he reviewed the footage, most of what he saw was expected. Animals moving through the frame, nothing out of the ordinary. But then something appeared that didn't belong. In the middle of the night, a camera captured a man walking through the forest. He was barefoot, shirtless, and carrying an axe. There was no flashlight, no gear, no indication of why he would be out there in a remote area at that time. The way he moved only made it more unsettling. He was crawling, slow and deliberate, as if he knew exactly where he was going. The most disturbing part wasn't just the figure itself, but the timing. This happened while Ray was asleep, just a short distance away, completely unaware that someone had been walking through the darkness so close to his campsite. Ray never encountered the man face to face. He never returned to the location again. Because sometimes the most unsettling part of the wilderness isn't the isolation, it is the possibility that you're not as alone as you think. On December 13, 2024, what began as an ordinary fishing trip turned into something Mark would never forget.
I think we got a dead body here. Yep, we do. A dead body. Oh my God, a dead body.
For years, he had been documenting peaceful kayak fishing trips, sharing quiet moments on the water and the natural beauty around him. Nothing about that day suggested it would be any different. This time, he had come out with a longtime friend, but as they drifted farther along the lake, they ended up separated, each moving through a different stretch of water. For a while, everything remained calm. Then, Mark noticed something ahead. At first, it didn't make sense, just a shape breaking the surface of the water. As he got closer, he saw what looked like a hand rising out of the lake. For a brief moment, he hesitated, unsure what he was looking at. His first thought was that it might be some kind of Halloween decoration or object that ended up in the water. But the closer he got, the clearer it became. It wasn't a prop, it was a body.
I don't want to sit here and poke at it and shit. 911. I am fishing on Lake Emery and I have come across a dead body.
We're out on Lake Emery.
I am putting at the boat ramp and I was going down.
Realizing what he had just found, Mark immediately backed away and reached out to his friend over the radio, trying to confirm what he was seeing without getting any closer.
A human being?
Copy that.
Say again?
Copy.
Moments later, he called the police and reported the situation, explaining exactly what he had come across and where he was located. While waiting for authorities to arrive, he remained at a distance, keeping his eye on the scene. That's when he noticed something else nearby. At the boat ramp, not far from where the body had been found, there was a small pair of shoes left behind, sitting out of place and adding another unsettling detail to the situation. Within minutes, authorities arrived and secured the area, confirming that what Mark had discovered was real.
Hey, and there's shoes at the boat ramp, dude. There's just a pair of like little Crocs, not like a girl-sized Crocs just sitting there at the boat ramp. Weird. Yeah, it was like a young, it's hard to tell by that face. It was like a young girl. I just saw it come on my, come across the, yeah. But there's no way that would decay in that fast. I mean, I don't know how long they said she was missing in that little thing, but.
You can ease on and we'll take care of it.
We're just gonna ease on down.
Call her witness.
Okay.
All right, thanks, man.
All right. Hey, don't forget to check that boat ramp, dude.
Moments like this are a reminder that even the calmest environments can hide something deeply disturbing. And sometimes, you don't realize it until it's right in front of you. Three friends set out to explore an abandoned campsite hidden deep within the forest in Belgium. But even before they reached their destination, something about the area felt different. As they arrived at the edge of the forest, the silence was broken by the sound of distant barking, echoing somewhere deep within the trees. At the entrance, they noticed something unusual. A fallen tree blocked the path, and across it was written a message warning that the area was private and should be respected as a place of prayer. Just behind it, another sign stood with a simple but direct warning. Despite the growing unease, they stepped over the barrier and continued forward. The deeper they went, the more the atmosphere changed. The forest felt heavier, quieter, as if something wasn't right. At one point, a distant cracking sound echoed through the area, resembling the slow opening of a door, even though there was nothing around them that could explain it. Uncertain whether they had already crossed into restricted property, the group tried to adjust their route, following a nearby trail in hopes of avoiding trouble. But not long after, they encountered another obstruction. a large tree wrapped in caution tape, accompanied by a freshly placed sign warning that the area was private and under surveillance. At that point, it was clear they weren't supposed to be there. Still, curiosity pushed them forward. They climbed past the barrier and continued deeper into the forest. Moments later, everything changed.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh. Dat is toch niet mijn auto of zo, hè? Hier, maat. Hier hoort iemand, hier. Hallo? 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 What the fuck? What the fuck? Hey!
While adjusting their lights, a figure suddenly emerged from darkness. A woman, dressed in white, holding an axe, moving quickly in their direction. There was no warning, no explanation, just sudden movement in a place where no one else should have been. The group panicked and immediately fled the area, abandoning any thought of continuing the exploration. Later, authorities were called, and the woman was reportedly taken into custody. The reason for her presence and the purpose of the warnings placed through the forest remains unclear. The three friends made it out without physical harm, but the experience left a lasting impact, because sometimes when a place is clearly telling you to stay away, there is a reason. A woman who runs a channel focused on exploring remote and forested areas set out on another solo trip in June 2024, this time venturing into the woods of Ohio. Her goal was simple: follow a narrow, unfamiliar trail and see where it would lead. At first, the journey felt routine. Even though the environment was quiet and isolated, nothing immediately stood out as dangerous. But as she moved deeper into the forest, the atmosphere began to shift. The trail led her farther away from any familiar paths, and as daylight started to fade, the surroundings became noticeably more unsettling.
These kind of vines right here, the ones when they're hanging in the tree, and you can use this one too, but when they're hanging in the tree, you want to go to the bottom. Ah! Stop! Shit. What was that? Anyway, cut it from the bottom.
Then, without warning, something or someone appeared.
Yeah. Hi. Hi. Yep. Yep. I can't go home. Oh. Ah. Oh, fuck. Sorry. No! Stop! 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 Please! 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 I'm leaving.
Between the trees, a pair of glowing eyes became visible, fixed directly on her. They didn't move, they didn't retreat, they just watched. The moment lingered long enough to make it clear that this wasn't a trick of the light. As she tried to process what she was seeing, the situation escalated. A figure began to take shape in the distance, something moving through the trees, partially obscured but clearly following her path. Eventually, she managed to reach an open area and make her way out without being harmed, but what she encountered remains unclear. Some viewers later suggested that the glowing eyes and movement could have belonged to a black bear, possibly reacting defensively to her presence. Others weren't so convinced. Whatever it was, one thing was certain: she wasn't alone in those woods.
What the fuck is it? Dude, no! It looks like a person, man. But no person.
In September 2024, a YouTuber named Megan uploaded a video describing a moment that quickly turned her solo trip into something far more serious than she expected. Her channel usually focused on everyday life, travel, personal updates, and quiet moments from the road. This time, she had decided to take a break from her routine and spend some time alone, camping in a forest in California. The goal was simple: disconnect, relax, and enjoy the solitude. At the start, everything seemed exactly as planned. The forest was quiet and there was no signs of anyone else nearby. For a while, it really did feel like she was completely alone. Then, she heard footsteps. At first, it was subtle, just the sound of movement somewhere behind her, but it didn't fade. It got closer.
Happens. Like a true narcissist. Like the true narcissist here. Okay, well you scared me.
Oh, thanks. Okay. Here, you need to walk by. You need to stay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm pretty hard. Don't worry.
Okay, I'm
You're
sorry.
probably more dangerous than me. You're probably more evil than me. Look at right here, the same. You're bomb. Little stoner.
A man appeared. He approached her directly, stepping out from the trees without warning. In his hands, he was holding a broken bottle. There was no clear explanation for why he was there or what he wanted. The way he spoke didn't match the situation. His tone seemed calm, but his presence and the object in his hand made the encounter feel unpredictable. It wasn't just the fact that someone else was in the woods. It was how suddenly he appeared and how close he chose to get. Recognizing the risk, Megan didn't wait for the situation to escalate. She gathered her things and left the area as quickly as possible. Fortunately, the man didn't follow and the encounter ended there. Later, reflecting on what happened, she remained surprisingly calm, even trying to downplay the moment. But looking at the footage, it's clear how quickly things could have gone in a very different direction, because in isolated places like this, you don't always have time to react. Two friends set out on a hunting trip deep in the mountains region of Alberta, expecting nothing more than a routine day in the wilderness. Like many experienced hunters, they split up to cover more ground, positioning themselves along a river valley where they had previously seen signs of wildlife. At first, everything seemed normal. The forest was quiet and the conditions were familiar, but as the evening began to settle in, something about the environment started to feel different. One of them began hearing unusual sounds echoing through the trees. Not the typical movement of animals, but heavy, deliberate impacts followed by sharp cracking of branches. The sounds didn't follow any natural pattern. They would stop abruptly, they resume from a different direction, as if whatever was making them was moving with intent. Uneasy, he climbed down from his stand and made his way toward his friend's location, hoping to regroup before it got dark. But when he arrived, the area was completely empty.
Dawn? Dawn? Shit, man.
There was no sound of his friend, no movement, no response. At the same time, the sounds he had been hearing were now much closer, and mixed in with them was something deeper, a low, unnatural tone that didn't resemble anything he recognized from the wilderness. With no clear explanation and a growing sense of danger, he turned back toward his ATV, intending to leave the area. But when he tried to start it, the engine failed.
Hey! Is that you?
With no other option, he continued on foot. As he moved through the forest, he began to feel as though he was being followed. At one point, he caught a glimpse of movement in the distance, something keeping pace with him through the trees, never fully revealing itself.
Dang, it's stalking me, whatever it is.
Moments later, a shape appeared ahead of him, moving quickly through the trees. Acting on instinct, he raised his weapon and fired warning shots in his direction, hoping to scare it off. But whatever was out there didn't retreat. Instead, the presence remained, continuing to move just out of sight. Then he came across something even more unsettling. Scattered through the area were crude structures made from branches, arranged in unnatural patterns. Some appeared stacked, others woven together, as if they had been deliberately built. Nearby, smaller formations seemed to incorporate animal remains, and not far from those, a large structure stood out, something that looked disturbingly similar to an altar. At that point, understanding what was happening no longer mattered. The only priority was getting out. He pushed forward through the forest, trying to find his way back, moving as quickly as possible while the sounds continued somewhere behind him. Eventually, he made it out, but his friend didn't. He was never seen again. To this day, what happened in those woods remains unknown, leaving behind a piece of footage that raises far more questions than answers.